set it up. It's about to make some pulls. But first, pro tech tip from the Patrick garage. I'll tell you guys about a trick I've discovered. Not recently, but a long time ago. With this bike, with this KX250 engine, it glues the clutch disc together, and cold starting the engine, it really drags the clutch. I have watched some videos on YouTube and saw that it's a common problem with bikes that are not run daily. And the trick is so easy and so, what do you call it, obvious, that many forget to think about it. When the bike is sitting for a long time, the clutch springs are keeping the clutch together. What happens is it glues the clutch discs together with the spacer discs. And then later on, when starting it next weekend or something, when you're out sending it, clutch drags, and then the engine gets hot and it releases as it should. So I'll show you the trick. Let's see if I can see anything there. I'll show you the trick. It's really easy. You'll be laughing. When bike is sitting in the week, you're not running on it, just do this. Look. Zip tie your clutch handle in, and by that the clutch discs having possibilities to get oil in between them when it sits for a long time, and it doesn't glue them together. This bike now, I can put first gear in. That's homemade temporary shifter. Now first gear is in, and normally I wouldn't be able to spin the rear wheel. No problems at all. It's quite heavy to spin the wheel as it sits on the dyno now. No issues at all. It's really easy. So, that's my tip for the day. Good luck. Back from that. And back from that. And back from that. This is a common problem on dirt bikes. However, today we try to make some numbers. I do not expect anything. I will just take it easy. I will not tune it very much today. I'll just make some pulls and go by feeling and take it easy. Afterthought, making some pulls. See if it holds. That's another. If the drive for the disc is holding up and the drive for the balance shaft is holding up, I don't know, and the clutch springs is good enough. And yeah, there's a lot of things to test before making real pulls. And remind you guys, this engine, it doesn't rev that much. When ordinary small engine starts to pull, this one's done. I got the rev limiter at 10,500, if I'm correct. It might be 10,000, whatever. I'm aiming for peak power at about 9.5, 9.8, so everything else is just an over rev situation. I have rigged up cooling, I have rigged up the exhaust excavation system. I've made it a little bit more straight this time, so it might take the exhaust pressure without braking, because this one engine is 1-cylinder 250. It's a lot more exhaust pressure than a 2-cylinder 250. So yeah, that's what I've done. I'm waiting as we speak for some sealant to cure. So, but you do not have to wait for that. It's done like this for you guys. So with that said, let's get into it. I'll pause here and meet you up at the computer. I saw 56, but that's without weather compensation. So, as I said, I am not expecting much at all these first dyno pulse, of course. But it sounded after, just before I closed it off, it sounded like it hasn't any throttle response, so I need to check some things. Compression seems good, first check. I need to check the plug, see if it's way too much compression, or it isn't hot. It is about 40. Not even 40. 36. So I'll close off and check up a little bit, and I'll catch you later. So back at the computer after the two first dyno pulls. There are some good things and bad things. The good thing is that it's almost 60 to the wheel, 58.1. It's not almost, it's 2 off, 1.9 off, but I call that almost anyway. And to the crank it is 64.1 if taking these calculations for certain. But if I'm calculating with 15% losses, it is, let's see, calculator, I got 58.1, 58.1 divided by 0.85. I got 68.35 on the crank. I'm aiming for about 70-75, so I aren't far off though. But bad things, two bad things is I got the RPM signal is mocking with me. It tells me it did only rev at peak power right there somewhere. 2,291 RPM, like 2,300. That's totally wrong, because the torque is way off also. I got torque peak at 183.6. Oh, no, in that curve 182.65. And let's take that calculator again and divide it by 3. 182.65 divided by 3, and I got 60.88 Newton meters. That seems reasonable. That seems actually right in the ballpark. And by that also taking that 2,291 RPM multiplied by 3, I get the correct RPM, 6,800 RPM. So it's a tractor. It's a farming vehicle. But you can see the curve, it's just falling off. I'm guessing it should carry on a little bit further and then taper off. I'm guessing that as I'm running E85 now, I have way too high compression. And that makes two strokes not like high RPM. I'll check the plug and see how the mixture level is and how the timing mark on the plugs is burnt off. We'll check it together, so I'll pause a little bit right here and come back to you. Now we're back. Spark plug analyze time. I'll try to hold it steady. The soot mark on the side strap is about right there. That's that's quite good. I could actually give it some more timing, but I will do that the last thing I'll do. But the most important part is to check down at the area where the porcelain meets the steel base in the plug. You got a soot ring about 1.5 to 2 millimeters wide going upwards onto the porcelain towards us. That's also quite good. Oh! It blew off the hose. Guess what? Now it's clearing up. Try it one more time. I think we made a dyno record, but I also think it ran hot for some reason, or just spewed out an air bubble. I'm totally soaked. It sprayed out from where the puke tank is supposed to fit. So I might have not have had any air pocket actually, when should having an air pocket. When not having an air pocket, when the water expands due to heat, it just builds pressure very high, very fast. when having an air pocket, it has something to expand into, and then it blows out. I don't know. It demands further investigation. I might need a puke tank or something, because this point is lower than the highest point of the cooling system. And thereby, this might be full of water and not being able to compress some air into the tank on the radiator. So let's check the dyno though. I think we might have reached almost 60 to the wheel. So I'll pause this camera and revert back to another camera. Well, let's see then. I haven't checked anything yet. If we'll check it together, see if I reach any dyno record. Oh, yeah, we got a little bit higher number, yes, but it wasn't a lot. Let's put the graphs on top of each other, but there is a record though. This is I guessed 60 on the wheel, but 59.6. It is 60 on the wheel if you're rounding off things. And yeah, we're gaining, we got it somewhere. I raised the ignition, oops, out of screen. I raised the ignition, so we went back right here, and we gained some, and I can probably add more on top right here, because adding 1 degree extra lifted this area up more than this area. So yeah, we'll guessing a little bit fuel tuning later with on E85 fuel. Remember that it isn't methanol yet. On E85 fuel and high compression, it should die off a little bit. Methanol would pull further, I'm guessing. But this is the end. There are no more right here. But if I could get this curve to, let's say, on E85, I could get this curve to do like this, a smooth one, and then fall off like 61, 62. Some tuning and I will reach it probably. On E85. And then methanol, I'm guessing 5% more than on E85, maybe 6, I don't know. And let's calculate that. If having now I put the brake on the dyno, so the upper curve right there is focus. Right there you should focus. The upper curve, I had a lot of losses, so it thought I had 137 to the crank, but this 66 almost is on the crank. And let's say 5 more, no, let's calculate. Calculator. Let's say I get 5% more on 59.6. 59.6 divided by 0.95, 62, 63, as I'm guessing. And this is on the wheel, and adding that, no, that became wrong actually. 59.6 multiplied by 1.05. Yeah, almost the same. 62.6. And this number on the crank, now I'm talking, I forgot my train of thoughts. This is where I should end up on at E85, but I haven't done it yet. So with this result, I might get, with this tune, I might get to 62.6 with methanol on the wheel. And on the crank, that would be divided by 0.85. 73, 74. It's what it's produced earlier in its days with the Kawasaki cylinder. So, but from what I can see right now, the curve is way wider. That might be due to the rotary disc intake. And there are some tuning still to do on that one also. I might put the disc later, it might rise the curve over here also, but it might not get any faster. It might just be a bigger COCK at the burger bar. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this, and the torque is 65.9. That's the correct number now, almost 66 Newton meters. Let's take away the other curves so we can look at this one alone. And my dogs are, listen, they're whining. My girlfriend is out walking one of the dogs, and the other dogs felt left alone. It's a beautiful curve, big wide curve. And well, I'm only in the beginning of this. I will aim for, I might not get it before taking records on the dyno. I will aim for 63 plus with E85 on the wheel. That's my goal. Will not reach it today. Today I will later go through the engine a little bit, and the carburetor, it seemed like the floater hung shut before it started. I got tension in my shoulders from kicking this engine. It's very hard to kick over due to the short kick and the high compression. So, well, we're in the beginning of tuning this engine, and I hope it keeps together so I can get some numbers and a test drive later on. And so far so good. It seems to hold up. I revved it to a rev limiter, 10,500 a couple of times on the roller. It seems to take that anyway. Oh, that's good. And yeah, I'll check up on the water and check up a little bit more things on the carburetor and stuff, and then later on, not today, I will try to make some huger numbers. So from Patrick Garage, peace out.